my friends. Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello. Candle of the day is champagne toast because I needed my faves. Hi. So today's video is going to be a little bit different just because I'm feeling a little bit, what's the word? I think anger is a good word. So today's video, we're going to talk about Amanda Ensing, also known as Esther Ensing. And no, Amanda, that is not making fun of your religion. That is making fun of you. Today's video, we're going to talk about her. I have said in the past that I don't want to make videos about Amanda Ensing because basically my whole kind of hypothesis about her is that she really just wants to be the Kent State girl of the YouTube beauty community. Like, she sees the success that other extremist right-wing political figures get. She sees what being super obnoxious and super just outrageous on social media, she sees the success that that can bring people, and so now that's kind of what she has decided to do. I think she genuinely believes some of the things she says. Like, I fully believe she's like a Trump supporter and fully believe that, you know, she's a Republican, like all of that. I believe that. But I think she hams up her beliefs in order to say outrageous things that she knows will get her attention. Because before all of this started, and we're going to get into what's been happening, her channel was dying. And some people are like, Hannah, that's rude. Don't say that. No, statistically speaking, purely based on numbers, her Instagram account and her YouTube channel and her Twitter all get less than the standard 10% engagement. Basically, if you're on social media, your goal and your aim is to get 10% engagement on everything you post. So where I'm at right now, I think I'm at like 280,000 people. All of my posts, I should be aiming to at minimum get 28,000 views per post based on the number of subscribers I have. It's the same thing with Instagram. I have no idea how many Instagram followers I have, but I would want to get 10% engagement per post. Same thing with Twitter, 10% engagement. That is what you want as a person who has a career, which is what she says she has, a career on social media. So yes, statistically, her channel and her career as a social media figure was dying. Statistically, yes. She has a channel with 1.4 million subscribers and she can barely get 30,000 views a video. That is a dying channel. I don't point this out to be rude. I don't point out her statistics or analytics to be like a dick. I'm pointing it out because I think it's relevant to why I think she's doing what she's doing. If this was a girl who was pulling in hundreds of thousands of views, I don't think she would be doing this right now. So that's why I'm bringing that up, is because I feel like it's pertinent. So who is Amanda Ensing? Basically, she's a beauty lifestyle influencer. She has, like I said, 1.4 million subscribers. And honestly, the big reason I had only ever heard about her before was because she stole art for some of her merch designs. I believe back in like 2018, she stole designs for her merch and it was like kind of a big scandal and then it blew over because, you know, but other than that, I haven't really heard anything about her. Amanda Ensing's channel, just purely without all of the political stuff we're about to talk about, her channel as a whole is a very good representation that you can have a lot of followers on YouTube. You can have a lot of followers in general, and that doesn't necessarily mean that people know who you are or like what you're doing. There's a ton of beauty channels. I find like a new beauty channel every day that has 1 million subscribers that I had literally never heard about before. YouTube is a massive space. The beauty community is a massive space. So while I'm sure Amanda has kind of her core group of followers, I wouldn't say she is one of the most well-known beauty influencers, especially in the year of 2020. All of this to say, the reason I hadn't made a video on Amanda yet was because I felt that she was doing all of this for this purpose. I felt she was doing all of this to get attention. I felt that she was doing all of this to have videos made about her, have people talking about her. I genuinely think this is all strategic and calculated. So I didn't want to post a video about it because I didn't want to give her what she wanted. However, things happened in the past couple of days that I feel like people who maybe don't have Twitter, like, just wouldn't know about. And now I'm gonna let this video, instead of saying, okay, I'll never talk about her, this is my one little, okay, Amanda, here is the attention you ordered. I will talk about this, and other people I'm sure will talk about this now because you've gone so far that we can't just ignore it. If anyone's curious about why maybe you shouldn't be supporting Amanda Ensing, if any brands, if any other big influencers, if any of you are curious about why I think it's in poor taste to be supporting Amanda Ensing after what she's done this past week, this is why. So this video is a little bit of a PSA. So Amanda Ensing, right before the 2020 election of Donald Trump, basically Amanda made this video. And at the time that this video was made, I wanted to talk about this so badly because it was just not, here's my thing. You can talk about politics. Like, you have every right as a person on social media to talk about politics, whether you're a Trump supporter or you're not. Like, you have every right to speak about politics. This video is in no way saying Amanda Ensing shouldn't be speaking about politics on her platform. This video is more saying that if you're going to do that, you are opening yourself up to criticism from other people who don't agree with you. You are opening yourself, when I talk about supporting Joe Biden, I get a ton of hate comments. I get a ton of people saying that they disagree with me, that they're unsubscribing because of it, that they don't like me, and that's fine. But that doesn't make me oppressed. That doesn't make me a victim. People being upset with my political views does not mean that I am somehow this martyr who is like frowned upon. That's not what that means. People who are rude to me and mean to me because of my beliefs, that does not make me an oppressed person. That does not make me part of a marginalized group of people. And that's what Amanda Ensing doesn't get. People being mean to you, I'm getting ahead of myself here. People being mean to you about your political beliefs doesn't make you a part of a marginalized group. It doesn't make you oppressed. It means they disagree with you because your candidate and the guy you're supporting, in our opinion, is taking away other people's rights. Let's just get that out of the way right now, because I know people are going to be like, oh, she can't have a different opinion than you. No, she can. I am allowed to be upset with her opinion. She's allowed to have the opinion. She's allowed to share it on her social medias. I'm allowed to say it's a dumb opinion. That's what I'm saying. So basically, she made this video talking about why she would be supporting Trump, why she was a Trump supporter. She talked a lot about her religion and her faith in that video. And she said in the video that she's very tolerant of other people and she loved everybody no matter what their opinions were and that everybody was allowed to have an opinion. But then also in that video, in her description box said, like this video if you're awake and dislike it if you're a sheep. So her stance is pretty clear. She said, I'm gonna link resources from non-mainstream media outlets that are unbiased, that are gonna tell you the truth, that are gonna tell you the facts, because America needs to wake up, because you're all asleep to the scams that are happening. It's very typical, like, QAnon rhetoric. Like, this isn't even like Fox News rhetoric. Like, this is very much like conspiracy theorists, very extremist Republican rhetoric, right? So just watching that video was all I needed to know. But then I was like, well, what links did she provide? Like, just out of curiosity, and I go down and she linked as 90% of her sources for like ways that people need to wake up. She linked TikToks. So that was upsetting. And that basically was it. Like, a lot of people were memeing her because she linked the TikToks, and she tried to defend it by being like, they open your mind, like, bleh, and all this crap. And she's just basically now openly saying, like, I am a Trump supporter. She really, like, backed him and backed his presidency. And I think her doing that, I think, was genuine. I think when she made that initial video and she was like, I support President Trump, like, I, support my candidate, I think that was similar to how I made videos being like, I'm voting for Joe Biden. Like, I think it was genuine. Like, I think she genuinely wanted to try to use her platform to promote her candidate, despite how much I disagree with her candidate and despite how much I disagree with everything Trump stands for and disagree with her. Despite that, I think it was genuine. I think she genuinely was trying to use her platform to spread something. What I think she noticed from doing this, though, was that she got the most views on her channel that she had gotten in like a year. Like, this video got like 300,000 views, which is a big step up from the video views that she had been getting. A huge increase of not only engagement with her on that platform of YouTube, but also a huge increase in engagement with her on Twitter and Instagram. So ever since that happened, Amanda has been getting increasingly more and more sort of intense with this extremist Republican rhetoric, and people, rightfully, have been getting more and more sort of like, what is going on? Because for so long, people thought a certain way about her. They thought she was just a beauty influencer. Nobody ever really thought about her political affiliations. And now all of a sudden, she is basically a right-wing Twitter conspiracy account. So people are kind of like, what's going on? A lot of influencers unfollowed her. A lot of brands have unfollowed her. And a lot of people, rightfully, I think, are very upset with her and upset with her beliefs and upset with the things that she is saying. Trump loses the election, right? On, in the week of November 5th. He loses the election. And Amanda, I think, got a little, I think she just didn't know what to do at that point, because I think her thought was, I think she genuinely thought Trump was going to win. So I think she thought that she could make this video, come out in support of him, and then ride the wave of another 4 years of Trump being in office. So when Trump lost the election and all of this stuff started happening with him questioning the legitimacy of the election and him trying to go through all these lawsuits, basically for the last couple of months, she's been tweeting out this really concerning rhetoric on social media. And most of her followers are just kind of being like, what are you talking about? And her other followers, like some of them are supporting her. So it's kind of split, right? She, at one point in time, the reason people are calling her, if you're confused, the reason people are calling her Esther Ensing is because at one point in time, she referred to herself and kind of compared herself to a biblical figure who named Esther. And I had to read about the story. Honestly, I couldn't really get through the story, but it was basically a story in the Bible about a girl who like fought back against a bad regime and saved a bunch of people's lives. And she basically compared herself to this biblical figure. So a lot of people were like, okay, this is too much. Like, you're comparing yourself to biblical figures and saying you are the second coming of Esther. Like, that's a little too much. So people were kind of making jokes at her expense about that. And that's kind of where we get into this coming week. Until this point, Amanda wasn't really responding to criticism. She was only responding to positive things said about her. And I think that's because for the most part, and this is just my theory, but I think for the most part, the reason she was doing that was because nobody like relevant was talking about her, which is what she wanted. She wanted relevant people to be talking about her. She wanted relevant people to bring attention to her. And I think that's what she was waiting for. And she got that when on TikTok, Manny MUA posted some TikTok. Somebody commented on it saying, what are your thoughts on Amanda Ensing? And Manny jokingly responded like, oh, you mean Esther? Like getting in on this joke that all of Twitter had made about her because she compared herself to a biblical figure. Amanda went on a like 3-minute Instagram story attack against Manny, questioning, this is, okay, I'm a little bit unclear about her argument here because in no way, shape, or form did Manny question her religion. Did Manny question religion even a little bit? In no way did he like say Christianity was bad. Did he mock Christianity? Manny was mocking her, comparing herself to a person from the Bible and saying that she was this person in the Bible. Manny was mocking that, which frankly, yeah, I get that. Is it a little petty of Manny to put that? Sure. Is it justified given the fact that she is pushing for a president that will take away his rights? Absolutely. So Amanda goes on this Instagram rant, basically the same old song and dance that I see from a lot of kind of like prominent Republicans is they always want to say that they're oppressed. They always want to say that being a Trump supporter means that you're like oppressed in society because society is controlled by the liberal snowflakes. So basically Amanda took a kind of sassy comment that Manny left about her and spun it into Manny MUA hates Christianity somehow. So that was a little bit ridiculous. And even I tweeted about that. I was like, I know that this girl is not trying to imply that Manny, who is a very religious person, is trying to imply that he hates Christians and he hates Christianity and he's anti-Christianity just because he called you a name and like made fun of you. Here's the thing with Amanda Ensing and religion, and I'm going to tread carefully here because I know that religion is like a deeply personal thing for a lot of people. It's something that a lot of people take very seriously, and I completely understand that. But I don't think what Amanda Ensing is representing as Christianity is actually what Christianity is. Actually, no, it's not. I know that what Amanda Ensing is representing as Christianity is not what Christianity is. She is representing her own sick, twisted version of Christianity, the way that she interprets Christianity in order to support her points of being bigoted, racist, and hateful. So what she's talking about, what she's promoting, those are Christian values. You can't just say, oh, I'm a Christian, I love everybody, and then actively be a racist bigot. Like, you can't do that. This is nothing that Manny said or nothing about her little rant had anything to do with Christianity, and what it actually had to do with was number one, her getting attention, and number two, her continuing her attack on minority groups and using Christianity as a shield. That's what she does. On Wednesday, there was also a domestic attack. Basically, I feel like that's the only way to describe it, is domestic. I know people are really touchy about the word, but like it was a domestic attack on the United States, and it was basically a bunch of Trump supporters were protesting. They were lawfully and utilizing their right to freedom of speech, which I feel everybody is entitled to do. Everybody is allowed to do that. They were protesting, and because of Donald Trump's sort of inciting them, they decided to go storm the Capitol, and because of a lack of police presence, because of inherently racist policing, that's a totally different video. Me and Charles are doing a podcast about that, so if you're interested, check out our podcast channel. We're going to have a podcast about the whole event on Sunday because I have a lot of thoughts. I'm sure you guys all do too. On Wednesday, that was all happening. And it was really scary. It was a really horrible time. We didn't know what was going on. We knew people had been killed. Like, it was just a lot. There was a lot happening on Wednesday. And Amanda Ensing is retweeting all of these conspiracy theories and just going off on these conspiracy theories, talking about how it's Antifa that's actually doing this, talking about how Trump is still going to be the president after this. He's going to have a second term, and just spreading all of this really, at this point, because it's literally cost people their lives, this is damaging conspiracy theories, what's being spread right now, especially in regards to like voter fraud and all of that. Like, this is quite literally people. Okay, so that's when we get to this tweet, and this is where screenshots kind of happen. So Amanda Ensing tweeted, "The left, I hate it here. America is embarrassing. Only we can riot and loot. Defund the police. Just do what the government tells you and don't ask questions. The right, let's fight for freedom. We love the USA. Defend the Constitution. We support our military and law enforcement," with like a little American flag. So Jackie Ina retweeted it and said, "Defund Amanda Ensing," and then changed it to Esther. Okay. Again, is this a little bit of a sassy clapback? Sure. But again, you're literally telling people that if they are Democrats, they are not good people. Like, that's what you're saying with this tweet. You're saying that we don't care about our country. You're saying, like, you're literally tearing down another group of people to raise yourself up. So other people are allowed to bring you down as well. When you go there, other people on the internet are allowed to go there. And honestly, I don't think Jackie was wrong. I don't. So I thought this was honestly funny, and people were kind of like joking about it and everything. And a lot of people were really, especially in the comments below Jackie's tweet, were discussing how Amanda's sort of twisted version of Christianity is really upsetting to them because they don't feel it represents what actual Christianity means. So Amanda Ensing quote tweets this and says, "No one is hated more than the one who tells the truth." I think it's annoying because this is like exactly what Caitlin Bennett sounds like. There are extremists on both sides who do this, where they just completely ignore all fact and reason and logic, and they just twist everything so that they sound correct. When you don't care about truth or logic, you will always think that you're the smartest person in the room. Because when truth and logic are out the window, everything you say is right. So what does it matter? To her, she's like, well, it's not the truth, what she tweeted. It's literally, first of all, an opinion at most, but second of all, it's also not based in fact because she doesn't care about fact, because she doesn't care about truth. To her, she's telling the truth. So then she says to Jackie, "Question, did you ever end up paying your taxes?" Okay, first of all, a lot to unpack in that. A lot of to unpack in that. The only reason that there's a rumor that Jackie Ina did not pay her taxes is because Jeffree Star, who is one of the most people in the beauty community, started that rumor against her as an attack because she anti-hauled his makeup brand. Let's start there. That rumor has no basis in fact. There's never been any evidence to support it. And I find it really interesting that one of the most prominent Black beauty content creators, she is one of the most subscribed to, one of the most famous, one of the most successful. I find it really interesting that she is the one who is having rumors spread about her that she's not paying her taxes. So Amanda Ensing bringing up that whole conspiracy theory when it's been debunked, we know it's not true, bringing it up again to try and promote and spread this false narrative about Jackie that is based in racism. It is racist to assume that a Black person does not pay their taxes just because they are successful. That is racism. Nobody has ever questioned if Jeffree Star, Jaclyn Hill, nobody has ever questioned if they have paid their taxes. You will not find one white beauty content creator that has been questioned about their taxes. Not one. She also tweeted, "Still think Biden won," and then hashtag MAGA, with a crowd of Trump supporters that honestly, it's very difficult to tell if this is from actually Wednesday. Some people were saying this was a fake photo, but I can't get full information, so we'll just assume it was from Wednesday. Photo of a Trump rally on Wednesday. And Makeup by Shayla, who is another very prominent Black creator in the beauty space, said people showing up at the Capitol doesn't mean he won. Just like you curling your hair and tanning your skin doesn't mean you're mixed. We're going to get into that in a second, why Shayla said that. So Amanda Ensing said, "It's the anti-racist party being racist and telling POC they aren't POC if they don't vote Democrat for me." It's very funny that she's using AAVE to clap back at a Black woman. I think that just really says it all about that statement. So then Alyssa Ashley jumped in and said, "I love what you said to both Shayla and Jackie came from the mouth of a racist. Go stick to your TikTok sources, you weak ass bitch. You would not have this energy at all if this was in person, and you know that. And if you choose to respond to me, I am begging you to make sure it's something you will say to me in person, because second shit reopens, I'll be sure you do." And Amanda said, "Happy to meet up anytime. People aren't racist because they don't vote like you. The anger and derangement from the left is at an all-time high. Do you need a hug?" Okay.
Hi, it's editing me. I also forgot to mention
impression that in one of these tweets, Amanda asked Shayla where she got her degree, trying to imply that because Amanda has a degree, that must mean that she's like smarter. The only thing I have to say to that, Amanda, is that I have a degree, it as well. Hi. And the one thing I'm so genuinely curious about is what college you went to that didn't teach you how to cite your fucking sources. That's what I'm curious about. What college did you go to that gave you a degree citing TikToks for papers? I'm curious, genuinely, are they accredited? What's the tea? Genuinely curious. Thank you. Every ounce of the communication that she had with 3 of the most prominent Black beauty influencers on this platform, every second of that interaction was oozing with not only just microaggressions, with like every interaction she had was racist. And I don't think it's a coincidence that every single person she chose to respond to, because other people were calling her out. White creators like myself and many others were calling her out. White people were saying what you're doing is messed up, stop doing what you're doing, like clapping back at her. We were all doing that too. The only people she chose to respond to and try to belittle were creators from either the Black community or the Hispanic community. And I find that to be really, really interesting. Actually, I guess I don't find that to be interesting. I guess that's not surprising in the slightest. It's just disgusting to see. So then a lot of images came up that showed Amanda Ensing's pretty blatant blackfishing, which is what Makeup by Shayla was referring to. And honestly, she's correct. She darkens her skin color. And Jackie Anna also brought up that Amanda Ensing at a beauty convention told her that people with lighter skin tones don't get as much attention in the beauty community as people with darker skin tones, and that people with darker skin tones get more opportunities. The reason I believe that this is true mostly is because Jackie tweeted about that event happening when it happened like a couple of years ago, and now has just revealed that it was Amanda Ensing who said it. So it's not like she just like never talked about that event happening. She did and just didn't say who it was, and now is exposing that it was Amanda. And honestly, it checks out. So all of that happened. And now we're here. Now we're here. And also throughout all of that, she was tweeting like conspiracy theories, just kind of adding gasoline to the fire of what was already a really dangerous situation. I think anybody with a platform that continued to tweet out conspiracy theories actively while the Capitol was under attack, I think anybody doing that is culpable, in my opinion. So now we're here, right? And it's honestly, I feel like it's kind of it's not a tough situation for me. For me, it's very cut and dry of like, I think after this video and after people kind of talk about all of this and it's all put out there, she's going to keep trying to do little things to get reactions. And I think the best thing to do is just completely ignore it. Oh, also in all the fray, she blocked me. Yeah, she did block me. I'm not really mad about being blocked. I get it, because I did say that she was kissing Donald Trump's ass to get clout. So like, I get it. Like, I get why she blocked me. But also, I just think it's, again, funny that she was willing to confront and attack and belittle Black women and people from the Latino community. She was willing to do that, but when a white woman confronted her, all she needed to do was just block and move on. Like, that's what she felt was necessary. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just sits really weird with me. So now that I've said my piece, we're in a weird time right now, because I think a few years ago, it was very easy to be a public figure and just be like, I'm staying out of politics. I'm washing my hands of it, like, whatever. And that's not because people's basic human rights weren't at risk, because they were. I think it just wasn't, people were not as informed as they are now, especially people who are in privileged groups. So people who weren't facing daily oppression, we just weren't informed because we weren't dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. And now with social media, it's very hard to claim ignorance anymore. Like 10 years ago, sure. Now it's pretty hard to claim ignorance if you have access to Google. Like, you can figure these things out. And because of the kind of current social justice movements that are happening, I think we're in an age where being silent isn't really acceptable anymore on social media. I know some people do it, but for the most part, people really, really want and appreciate when people with platforms speak out, right? We're encouraging that. So in a sense, I get why Amanda Ensing was like, well, all of these Democrats get to speak about their opinions. I want to speak about mine. Like, okay. But I want to make it crystal clear, and I made this point in the beginning of the video, but I feel like it's really important to make it at the end. Being just a person on social media, regardless, you're opening yourself up to criticism by putting yourself online. But to try and twist the criticism that Amanda Ensing has been getting as people hating the truth, as people hating Trump supporters, as people hating Christians, as people hating Republicans, as people hating anybody who thinks differently than them, to try and spin it in a way that like she is the oppressed group because she is voting for the people people that oppress people is too much for me. That's the problem I have. Very obsessed with trying to make herself be the victim in all of this, because she knows that if she is the victim, she will get more attention and more sympathy. She's obsessed with wanting to be the victim. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, because in one sense, if you ignore it and let her run rampant with her ideas, you're not promoting her and you're not spreading her ideology, but also because of the way social media works, she could still be very successful in having those opinions and be spreading this dangerous, what we know to be actually untrue rhetoric. So in a sense, it's like, do you ignore it or do you talk about it? And I think there's a middle ground. I think calling it out when it gets to a point where it's this, where she's literally just attacking other creators in the beauty community and using stereotypes to attack them, that's when I feel like the line has been crossed to say something. But I feel like other than that, like, we have to learn from kind of social media people of the past. Like that Christian Walker kid. There's this kid now who is a Republican who's becoming kind of well known on TikTok, especially for having these really, really strong opinions about Trump, and he's very outlandish, and he's getting a ton of attention even from, you know, Democrats, because we're just like, what are you saying? Like, it's very easy to retweet people who don't care about the truth and dunk on them with the truth. That's like the easiest thing to do. It is. It's so easy. It's harder to ignore, but at the same time, I think at a certain point, it is beneficial to ignore accounts like this and to say, like, we're done. You can't say things that are and promote ideologies that are oppressive and then get upset when like brand deals drop you, or get upset when brands don't want to work with you anymore, or claim that it's the people that talk about it's fault that you lost out on money or views or whatever, because now she's trying to claim it's Here for the Tea's fault that this happened. It's not. It's your fault. You said it. People bringing attention to what you said are not the people that are the problem. It's you, the person who did it, that is the problem. And that's all I have to say about that. I know this video was a little bit ranty and a little bit, you know, whatever, but I just had a lot of thoughts and opinions on it. And I feel like, again, this will serve as a good place of like, if you're curious about what's going on with Amanda Ensing on Twitter, that's basically what's going on. If you would like to continue to support her, that's your prerogative. Personally, I think we should just ignore her. Just ignore it completely. And yeah, that's it for me. I love you guys so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below. I'll link this sweater too. I love this sweater. It's from a place called Self-Care Station. They make the cutest little crew necks. And also, as far as our little social justice corner, I've decided every month I'm going to do something new because the Georgia Senate runoff races have ended. And while I think voting all the time is important, I'm going to lay off voting for a minute. So leave your suggestions down below of what you would want the little social justice thing of the month to be. I figure every month we'll put a new cause down there, just kind of push something different. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
What?